everyone, and welcome back to another At America TV event with me, Jasmine. I hope you all are doing well. So for those of you joining us for the first time, At America is the U.S. Embassy's American Center, and our mission is to provide a space for young Indonesians to learn more about the United States. We have temporarily moved to a digital platform so you can still enjoy all of our events at the comfort of your own home. So for this evening, we will be discussing At America and Gen Indonesia Startup Huddle Jakarta. But before we begin, I would like to tell you that At America is having a giveaway as part of our 10th anniversary celebration and also celebrating diversity between the US and Indonesia. We're inviting you guys to participate in our giveaway so you don't miss out on a chance to receive an iPad Pro. So how can you guys participate? Stay tuned until the end of the program because that's when I'll be sharing with you how to do so. All right, and before we begin in all of At America's events, I would like to share with you our social media quiz question for this evening. So tonight's question is, true or false, vertical farms use up to 70% less water than traditional farms? So is that fact true or false? You can participate in our social media quiz by commenting on our social media platform on our Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, or Instagram. And for those of you who got the answer correctly, you will get a live shout out from us at the end of the program. All right, before we begin tonight's event, I would like to invite for the opening remarks, Mr. Garrett McDonald, Agricultural Attaché, USDA FAS, U.S. Embassy Jakarta.
Thank you very much, Jasmine. Good evening to all of you. Thank you for joining us here at America for this Startup Huddle event on technology and agricultural innovation. This is a wonderful opportunity to hear directly from an entrepreneur working in this important space and to learn more about their business while also hearing critical feedback from an accomplished panel of advisors. Let me just say at the outset that innovation is at the heart of agriculture. For thousands of years, farmers have been innovating and designing technologies to improve the quality and quantity of their crops, from hybrid seeds to modern day biotechnology that is resistant to pest and drought. These innovations in agriculture, as well as technologies used to monitor the harvest of crops and to prepare the harvest of crops, have resulted in what I think is the most dynamic and productive agricultural system in history. And to a significant degree, we saw this dynamism when the global food supply chain largely withstood the stress of the COVID-19 pandemic. However, we know that more and greater challenges to agriculture and food security are on the horizon, climate change perhaps greatest among them. So in this regard, technology in the agricultural sector has a critical role to play in both how we mitigate climate change through reduced emissions and resource efficiency, as well as how we adapt to the impacts of climate change over time. To this end, I would like to invite all of you to learn more about the Agriculture Innovation Mission for Climate, also known as AIM for Climate. Through this initiative, the United States and the United Arab Emirates are partnering with other countries to catalyze greater investment in agricultural R&D and innovation, including enabling science-based, data-driven decisions and policy making, which is something I know is going to be particularly relevant to our entrepreneur speaking this evening. So when you have a moment, I encourage you all to Google AIM for Climate and to read more about this initiative on the State Department's website. Lastly, I just want to close by saying that technology alone, no matter the challenge, is only going to be part of the puzzle. And when it comes to agriculture, that is certainly the case. We can have higher quality seeds, but that would result in little impact if government regulations are preventing those seeds from getting into the hands of the farmers who need them. And similarly, remote sensing and better agricultural production data can only add value if those collecting, analyzing, and disseminating the data are free to openly report their findings, and policymakers are free to listen to those findings and to act on them. So I hope that everyone listening tonight can keep that into the back of your head that this is another critical, important task that we all need to consider. I'm really looking forward to an open and frank conversation, and once again would like to thank all of the participants for taking their time to share their insights on this important topic, and thank everyone in the audience for taking this time on your Friday evening to join us. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Pak Garrett, for the warm welcome. And now to start tonight's event, I would like to invite our moderator for this evening, Bapak Hedi Wiharja, startup coach and founder of ImpactNer.
Hi, thank you, Jasmine, for your intro. And good evening, everyone, and welcome to Startup Huddle Jakarta. And thank you for joining us today. We are very lucky to have with us today all the panelists. So the first is Pak Ivan from Gen Indonesia, is representing the community of mentors. And second is Prof. Teddy Marntoro, PhD from University of Sampurna, Faculty of Science and Technology. And Prof. Teddy is representing the community of academia. And third is Ibu Maria Susan Rusli from PT Dana Indonesia as Commercial Vice President. She is representing the community of leading startup. And fourth is Pak Andrea Surya from Principal Kejora Capital, is representing the community of investors. And also many thanks to our partners from At America in collaboration with Gen Indonesia and ImpactNer Startup Business School, Indogen Capital, and Kukelola that support this event. And now I want to welcome to all new attendees. If this is the first time that you attend Startup Huddle Jakarta event, we are happy to have you here and hope you can always join us in next event. And many thanks to all loyal members of Startup Huddle Jakarta community who always attend our events. And now, allow me to introduce myself. My name is Edwi Harja. I'm a founder, ImpactNer Startup Business School, and I'm the organizer for Startup Huddle Jakarta. And today, we have a lot of support from our collaboration partner teams who help me behind Zoom stage, from arranging multi-platform, collecting Q&A from the audience, and etc. And now, allow me to share quick info about Startup Huddle. And Startup Huddle is a program that was started by the Global Entrepreneur Network. Now, there are more or less 50 countries, 50 communities across the world in more than 30 countries that hold Startup Huddle events. And Startup Huddle is a program designed to help one entrepreneur at a time while strengthening the local ecosystem. Entrepreneur discover solution to challenge the face through purposeful engagement with a broad array of voice from their local community. The Startup Huddle format is consistent in each location at a consistent meeting place. One or two early stage startup founders give a 6-minute presentation about their company to a diverse audience from their local community. Each presentation is followed by a 45-minute question and answer session, where the community provides ideas, connection, and feedback for the entrepreneurs by providing a monthly meetup for the local ecosystem. Startup Huddle builds community, one entrepreneur at a time. And I'm glad you are here, and I hope you will come back again next time for our next Huddle event. And if you would like to see the upcoming represent community or previous presenter, you can go to our website or social media, Instagram and YouTube at ImpactNer. And also, if you would like to post on social media about this event or see what others are saying, you can use the hashtag Startup Huddle Jakarta. Now, we welcome our presenter, Pak Antoni. Now, let me introduce Pak Antoni as a CEO of Authority.id. I have the pleasure in meeting him with he enrolled in Impactner class Startupner 1.0 and 2.0, where he's one of the active participants in that class. Before embarking on his startup journey, he has various work experience, ranging from architecture, scientific instrument, and calibration. As for his education background, he got his undergrad from Taruman Negara Universitas Majority in Architecture. And then he, in order to sharpen his managerial skill, he enrolled in Krida Wacana University, majoring in strategic management. And his passion is learning, so earned him several certificates and awards from various organizations like SMI, Success Motivation International, and Indonesia President Special Envoy for MDG, and Tony Busan Mind Mapping, Graphology, and Lions Club, and also from Impactner School for Startup. In his spare time, he also active in Lion Club, and well-known international organization doing charity works. Last but not least, I'm glad that he is chosen by Startup Huddle and at America to present his startup today. And I wish him best of luck in his presentation today and his journey as a startup founder. Okay, Pak Antoni, now it's your time to start presentation, present your business idea, and let me remind you again, your time is only 6 minutes, and our team will help as timekeeper. The mic is yours.
And we provide the solution, an IoT-based solution for automatic irrigation. And our goal is to help to uh, increase the livelihood of farmers and planters by increasing their yield and decreasing their costs. Our vision is to become the top of mind in automatic irrigation and also in agriculture technology 4.0. And our mission is to provide a user-friendly and informative plantation dashboard. The issue that we are trying to address is Indonesia agriculture and food problem. As you can see on the graph on the left side, by 2050 we will have like 41 million more citizens than we do have right now, and that thing will translate to by 2045 we need to produce 21.7% more food than we are producing right now. Unfortunately, there are some challenges that we need to face to overcome in order to achieve our goals. First of all, is water scarcity. Ideally, we need to be able to provide around 1,600 cubic meter of water per capita per year. Unfortunately, even right now, we are only able to provide around below 1,200 of cubic meter of water. And if we don't do anything, by 2045, this number will decrease even more to below 500. And on top of that, we have other challenges such as with land conversion from agriculture use into industrial or residential use. And like Mr. Gates mentioned in the beginning, climate change is also a big challenge. So the conclusion is we need to grow less with more. We need to grow more with less resources. So this is our proposed solution, where we IoT-based automatic irrigation concept. We deploy several sensors on the plantation, such as soil, temperature, plant, weather, and etc. And the sensor will send the data to the cloud so that the farmers will be able to read the data using their cell phone or their computers. And then the farmers will be able to manage the irrigation accordingly. This is our dashboard draft design. As you can see on the right side is the various data that is displayed on the field, such as soil temperature, soil moisture, temperature, and etc. And on the left side is the irrigation control, where the farmers will be able to manage their irrigation schedule accordingly. We are hoping to bring our solution to around more than 600,000 farmers group in Indonesia. But right now, we'll be focusing to promote our solution to around 3,000 plantation all over in Indonesia. This is our customer persona. Let's say this is Miss Mary, and she works in the procurement division in a plantation, and she's around 25 to 40 years old. And in order to procure the best solution for this plantation, she will compare prices from several suppliers. But fortunately, in order to make the decision, she will not only base on the price only. She will also consider result and after sales. And after she chose the best suppliers, she will do the procurement via based on contract and deadline. This is the customer journey. First of all, of course, we will do some marketing. We will do some promotion via online or via offline, but we will rely heavily on doing seminar and case study. And hopefully, this will bring our potential customer to visit our trial site. And if they are interested, we will be offering them our trial version of the solution. And hopefully, after that, the customer will proceed to make some payment for us. After we deliver the instruments, we will not leave the customer on their own. Instead, we will provide them with consultation and recommendation of best practice of the plantation. And afterwards, we are hoping that the customers will do a renewal, and to decrease the cost of the instruments, we will do some promotion, such as giving them a member get member promotion. Why use our product? First of all, this is not a new technology. What we are doing is the transfer technology. So basically, we bring a technology from overseas, and then we are making it locally. So that's why we call it localization. So therefore, our solution will be a cost-effective solution. And last, we will provide them with after-sales service like consultation, repair if necessary, and also we will build a community based on the customer that has already used our instruments. Why us? In order to be able to do what we do, you need to have an experience in these three things: agriculture, and also have an extensive network with the scientists, with the plantation, and also with the instrument suppliers, which we have in Indonesia and in overseas. And lastly, you need to know what is the best suited technology to use for this kind of solution. This is our business value, is collaboration. And we believe that we as a company can collaborate together with the university to provide a solution. And hopefully by doing a collaboration with the government, we can provide some solution that can benefit the society and like farmers and plantation. And also at the same time, we will have to increase the quality of the natural environment. So last, with authority.id, we are hoping to be able to build the nation through localization. Thank you. Back to you, Pak Edi.
Okay, thank you, Pak Antoni, for your nice presentation. And now this is the time for our representative community to give one or two questions. And I will lead who is the first and second and so on, and to ask the question. Then after that, I will give a chance to all audience to ask question. And for the audience, please prepare your question. You can chat in the chat room and I will read it for you. Prof. Teddy, would you like to open Q&A session for us?
Sure. Yeah, thank you, Pak Edi. Pak Antoni, thank you for the very nice presentation. I really like the idea, yeah, for especially in relation to the agriculture. And as everybody knows, food is one of the most important thing in our life, basically. My assumption at the moment is this is considered as the new startup, is it? Or do you have any, how many customer current that you have? Can I, before I ask my question, can you elaborate that question first, please?
Actually, right now, we don't have any customers yet.
Right. So
we are already working on with several potential customers to provide some solution.
All right. So, okay, then my question is, I have a couple of things. Number one is usually we have something that what we call as the not killer application. You are considered as the killer application, I think. But what we're looking for is what's the killer features, yeah, the features basically that you feel like this is the strongest thing in your startup. That's the first one. The second one is a lot of farmer actually they worry about the when they have the product, for example, assume they have a very good product, and then in terms of the marketing, so how do you help the farmer in terms of to bring that product to the market basically? So what kind of strategy that you're going to use for that? And one other thing is you talking about the localization from the agriculture. So can you elaborate also about the what do you mean by localization? Is it in the relation of the granularity of your application, or is it in the relation of, say, for example, you mentioned you're going to predict I forget the data that you just showed me, 6,600 something farmer, right? That you targeting maybe. So in terms of the localization, what are you going to do? What is the plan for that? And also in terms of one last question, basically this question, I will make it a short for this. What are you going to see your startup here in, for example, 3 or 5 years from now, where our situation in the new normal, as you know, currently we are in the pandemic situation. We predict also in 1 or 2 months from now they're going to getting worse basically. So with the kind of situation, if they're going, for example, for quite some time, then what will be your plan? Is there any other contingency plan in your business model? Thank you for that. Thank you, Baidi. Sorry if that too long, by the way.
Okay, thank you for the question, Prof. Teddy. It's a really interesting question. Our as for our killer feature right now is we compare the data. We are comparing the it's about accuracy. So this is I'm going to answer this with localization. Actually, right now I'm also working in a company that sell agriculture instruments to the plantation. And right now we are offering them with instruments from overseas, from Australia, from America, and from several other countries. And right now, unfortunately, the prices is really expensive for some farmers. And even some middle-sized plantation, they are not able to buy this kind of solution. So therefore, we bring this out, we do the localization. So we take a look at the instruments, and then we choose what kind of instruments that we are able to build locally. And then after we build it locally, we compare the data from the instruments that we built with the instrument that we imported. So therefore, we are sure that we have a very good accuracy. So, and that means that in doing this kind of in selling this kind of instruments, the instrument that we imported from overseas, they have a really good accuracy, and this means a lot to the farmers. So that's, if you are asking about our killer feature, so we give a very good accuracy with a very cost-effective solution. And as for regarding marketing the product, unfortunately, I don't think that at like within 3 or 5 years we are going to focus on building the IoT. Mentioned before this thing, we are going to make a society that is data-driven society. So we are going to help the farmers to make a decision based on data, based on prediction of weather, based on the water. As you can see, one of the problem in the agriculture is the leaching of the fertilizer, and it counts for like from 50 up until 90%, and we can do this, and this bring really bad impact for the environment also, and we can help to alleviate this problem by measuring accurately, measuring data of like weather conditions, soil condition, and most importantly to measure the plant condition itself. So hopefully that answers your questions. Thank you.
Okay, Prof. Teddy.
Heidi, do Do you want me to continue my question, or you stop me
Yes.
until this stage?
I give you one
More question. All right. Pak Anthony, I was living at the time in Australia for like more than 10 years at the times. I saw a lot of people as a farmer. They have like a big, huge agriculture thing over there. So, for example, they're doing harvesting, and then the way they do, they're using the like a big tractor with the GPS thingy. All right, and then they introduce what they call by agricultural precision. What is agricultural precision in this context? So, for example, if you have the big tractor and there is no person inside there, they're just machine, and then they're going harvesting basically. So they go move and so on, right? And what happened is they're using like the GPS with the, you're talking about the GPS also just now, with the precision until 1 millimeters. Okay. So what happened with the farmer? Then they need to pay more. Okay. And then they do some calculation basically. And then what is the benefit to doing the precise agriculture using that in that context? Because the way they do, they no need to. For example, when you harvest in one line, right, and you have to back again and then go again, right? Sometimes some part they have to go back again to some part that you cannot cut it basically, all right. So using the precise one, they're really precise basically, and then they go to the maximum one. But the consequences is they have to pay more. Now, my question is, in your approach, yeah, when you're talking about that automatic agriculture, for example, because agriculture is quite not easy thing in we thinking about the IoT, yeah. In terms of the harvest, what do you have in your mind for that? The other thing is when you grow, for example, you're talking about the water, yeah, and we know in Israel, for example, they do some a new good technology with the what you call it. So they have some measuring the the soil basically, whether they are too wet or not. Because if in some type of the plant, they are very easy to die basically if you put too many water, for example. And so the question is actually two things. Number one is the harvesting thing that you deal with that with the precise agriculture. The other one is how you deal with the watering in that managing the what you call it the 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 water inside of the soil. I forget the word, by the way. So thank you for that, Anton. That's my question, by the way.
Okay, thank you, Prof. Teddy.
Yeah.
It's a really on point question that you asked. I will explain to you regarding the soil moisture. Actually, one of the most difficult thing to do, and also the most important thing to do regarding regarding the automatic irrigation to measure the exact soil moisture. Unfortunately, right now there is no. There are several sensors. Like you can buy the sensor from an online market from like $1 from China. At the same time, you can buy some sensors in Indonesia that will cost you from tens of thousands of dollars. The difference between them is how is their method of measurements and the accuracy of the sensor itself. So again, right now the issue is what kind of sensors, what is the best soil moisture sensors that will, in terms of cost and in terms of accuracy. And in this field, we have done several tests. Actually, we have done lots of tests. We have like 5 years experience in this kind of field, so we are sure what the sensor that we are using is the best regarding cost, accuracy, and durability. And therefore, and regarding the precision agriculture, our approach is using the automatic irrigation. So that means when the soil is dry, the irrigation will start pumping, and when soil is wet, the irrigation will stop pumping. And on this sense, you need to do a lot of observation, and it will depend on the crops. Let's say you are planting like a sugar cane. In sugar cane, you need to determine what is the age of the sugarcane itself. So a different age of sugarcanes will need a different dose of water on a daily basis. There are a lot of scientific paper that 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 uh, that measure these kind of things, and we have some instruments. So we install some sensors on the soil measure sensors, and we install some sensors on the sugarcane, and we can predict exactly. So the term is like this: on this type of weather, this this sugar cane on this certain age will use this certain amount of water, so we can do the irrigation exactly, like just as the plant needs, no more and no less. But again, in order to be able to do so, we will need to do some extensive research. And the technology is coming from overseas, and unfortunately, there are not a lot of research is being done for tropical plants. Let's say like oil palm. And as as for oil palm itself, there is one time where I was doing some presentation. I was debating with one of the scientists. He is a well-known scientist, but I can prove to them that we have a solution that are able to measure the how much oil palm is using water more accurately than the method that they are using right now. So regarding precision agriculture, yeah, we measure the soil, and we have determined what is the best sensors, and then we will compare it to data of the water use of the plant itself. So that's again one of our killer feature.
Thank you, Pak Anthony. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Prof. We will back to you after we give others to ask question. And the second panelist is Ibu Maria Rusli. Now it's your turn to ask question, Bu. Thank you.
Thanks, Eddie. Hi, Anthony. So my questions mostly focus on the operation side, right? So how do you acquire merchants? You say that you're an ongoing discussion with them. I just want to know what's your projection in 2021, and then how to scale in terms of merchant acquiring, and what are the plans to retain them to use your service and product in longer term. I think that also connect to your product's shelf life. How do you measure customer success rate? And of course, in all business there are risks, right? So from your point of view, what is the biggest risk to your company? Thank you.
Okay, thank you for the question, Bu Maria. It's really interesting.
Anthony.
Oh, sorry. Thank you for the question, Bu Maria. It's a really interesting questions, and I'll try to answer it briefly. So the projection so right now we are doing some discussion with several potential customers that are interested in implementing our solution for their plantation. Again, we are not talking about a big plantation, we are talking like around 10 to 20 to just below 100 hectares solution. And we are going to, and if they chose us as their suppliers, we will do some like leveling up. So let's say like we will do first of all we will do like 10 hectares, 20 hectares, and etc. up until we achieve that 100 hectare according to the customer needs. And as for the retaining customers, our business model is to first of all is to sell the instruments and then to sell subscriptions to our solution. So hopefully the customer journey is like this. After the customers buy the instruments, they will see the data on their website, and they can see what's going on, and etc. etc. And we will ask them whether they need some recommendation, some consultation. If they need those kind of consultation, we will connect them with some scientists from Indonesia or from overseas that has an expertise on that field. So hopefully this will help the customers to maximize um, the benefit of using our solution, and hopefully this will make the customer use our instruments on a like within like 5 to 10 years, 5 to 10 years time. And this will continue to regarding the shelf life of the product itself. Right now, actually the most costly of the instruments is the sensors itself, because it's really difficult to get a really good sensor with a good accuracy and with a high durability. So it will depend on what type of sensor that. Some sensor will be broken like within 2 or 3 years. Some can last up until 5 years. So and since we are building this locally, if something happens, we can do the repair locally, and we can provide them with consultation, etc., etc. This is not the case when you get some solution from overseas. Sometimes you need to, in order to repair the sensor on the instruments, you need to send the instrument overseas, and it will cost you time, it will cost you money, and yeah, it will cost you a lot. And this is something that we are hoping that it will benefit our customers. And regarding to measure the customer success rate, we are hoping by the customers doing renewal from we are offering them like 1 year subscription, 2 years, up to until 3 years subscription. And for the first year, we will also give them some warranty and etc. etc. It depends on the solution and the condition and etc. So we are hoping that we are measuring our success rate by the renewal of the subscription itself. The biggest risk that we are facing right now, if there are like a company from China, they come to Indonesia, and then like they are doing what we are doing right now, but they have like more capital than us, more resources than us, and I think that will be our biggest risk. Yes, I guess is that all? I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's good. So, yeah, overall, I mean, in your business and every business, I guess we need a success story, right? We start from the pilot merchants. So, is there any categories of of the merchant that you're targeting? Because I mean, if you say that the biggest risk competitor are coming, with bigger capital, cheaper product. So you need the success story as soon as possible, right? So what kind of plantation that can prove results in a short amount of time?
Okay. So this is how we manage our customers category. So there are big plantation like a conglomerate group in oil palm, but there are also mid-sized plantation like oil palm or other like banana or pineapple or some fruits plantation. That's on the lower scale. Like they have like only like 100 hectares, 200 hectares, and like probably like the biggest is like 1,000 hectares. So we will be focusing on those kind of customers. We are not really interested for the big plantation like big conglomerate oil palm group. Why? Because they have the resources to outsource the best product from overseas. So if we propose this kind of solution, we will be compared to those big names that has already some established experience, already have some success story, and etc. etc. So and based on my experience dealing with this kind of plantation, I think the best way to approach the customers is the mid-sized plantation, where they have the resources, but they have some resources but they lack in like R&D. They don't have the agronomy specialists and etc. etc. And they need to have an assistance from an agronomy expert to give them the best practice, how to increase their yield, how to manage their plantation, how to manage their field, how to best practice for increasing their yield, decreasing their cost, what's the best fertilizer to use, what's the best method to grow, what's the best seed, and etc. etc. So we are targeting the mid-sized plantation.
Okay.
So yeah.
Thanks, Anthony. Great answer. Thanks, Eddie. Back to you.
Okay. Thank you, Bu Maria. And now, Pak Ivan, now it's your turn to ask question, Pak.
Okay, thank you, Paddy. I've been listening to all this explanation that Anthony was giving to all the analysts. There are a few things that I would like to still clarify, by the way, because as a mentor, you always to see basically how to make things work. And I have not seen any easier or possible ways to make it work with this innovation unless there's some kind of a strategy that Anthony is having under his sleeves. But let me go back a few steps before that. Speaking of farming, smart farming, there are so many parameters that people need to pay attention to, and I have seen several agriculture startups which are trying to introduce some kind of a technology in smart farming, urban farming, which end up not working or not going anywhere simply because of the challenges that they are facing are just too big. Uh, at the beginning of your presentation, you were talking about water scarcity, which is absolutely true for Indonesia. And that is certainly a major problem, regardless whether you're talking about plantations or you're talking about farms, like rice farms, whatever, which is mostly here in Indonesia. But the thing is, how do you actually solve that water scarcity problem? By using several sensors. I'm sure it could work. I'm sure. Land acidity, weather, humidity, things like that. But we're not talking about American or European or Australian farmers. We're talking about Indonesian farmers. And most of them are, I would say, rather less educated. And most of them basically do farming simply because that's all they know. And they work also most of the time not just for themselves, but for the loan sharks, for the landowners, whoever. So basically, they're doing what they're told to do. Now, coming with this proven technology that you have already indicated at the beginning, how do you think you're going to make it work in Indonesia? Because I think you have to educate the farmers first, which is the biggest challenge for them to understand, that, hey, I have a technology that can help you increase your productivity by applying these sensors, getting all this data, study it, analyze it, you can actually increase your amount of harvest or whatever. But how to make it work? How do you educate them? Because most of the times I have seen startups actually fail in coming with a real strategy that they can actually apply in the field, trying to educate the farmers. Because most of the Indonesian farmers just don't have interest, don't have time, and don't have the energy to learn something new. Unless you're working with Cinemas Group or, as you said, these big firms, because they can tell them just apply, use this technology as I want you to, and don't ask any other questions because we will do the analysis for you, and you just basically do the labor work. But if you say that you're going to work with all these smaller farmers or plantations, I mean, that's a lot of work for you to do. Now, speaking of just one simple thing, which is the go to market strategy, explain to me a little bit. How do you think you're going to do this activities or action plans that you think you will be successful in educating Indonesian farmers or those who were working in the plantation so that they are willing to actually acquire your technology? What's your take on that, Anthony?
Okay, thank you, Pak Ivan. It's a more difficult question than before. Okay, how to make things work? First of all, I witnessed first-hand experience when I visited Malang, which is and I went to some on the outskirts of Malang, where I see that on this area you need to drill like 50 meters below the soil to get some water. So regarding the water scarcity is real, and even in Java it's already happening right now. And in order to do the precision irrigation or with automatic irrigation, you need to be able to, there are two important parameters. First is to get the water itself, which means that you need to have a source for the water. Secondly, is to use the water efficiently. First of all, unfortunately, if there are no water, there is nothing that we can do. I don't think that right now we have the technology to help the farmers or the planters to find waters. But we will, if they do have some waters, we will help them to use it efficiently. Why? Because by using the water efficiently, you will also decrease the cost of your fertilizer. Some of the issue in plantation is the leaching of the fertilizer into the soil. This will also, by it means, is that when you give some fertilizers to the soil, the plant did not absorb it. Instead, it will go down into the soil and just, yeah, in some places it will go down so that the root of the plant will not be able to get the nutrient from the fertilizer, and it at some point it can contaminate the like the river on besides the plantation and etc. So in this case, we are going to help the farmer to use the water efficiently. This is the first thing. And secondly, actually, unfortunately, we are regarding the 600,000 farmers group. We will not be focusing our effort on doing on selling to those customers right now. Those are not our customers. We will be focusing on the plantation itself. Like you mentioned before, the big oil palm plantation. We also will not going to be we also are not going to be focusing on them, but instead we are going to focus on the mid-sized plantation, where they have the capital, they have the human resource, and they have the know-how. But unfortunately, I have met with, like, let's say one big conglomerate group. When I approach them, they say like, we have been doing this from the 1980s and it has been successful until this time. So I don't think that we are going to change our way of doing things. That's fine. Those are not our customers. I have personally met with some customers that are eager in implementing this this kind of solution. There are challenges, yes. That's why we are in it for the long run. We are not hoping to, like, within the next year we are going to be a unicorn or something. No, we are. There is. I don't think that it is feasible to do that. But I think it's feasible to have our solution to be implemented in lots of plantation within 5 years after they see some success story in some cases. Because by the end of the day, you need to measure, you need to calculate between the ROI, the investment that the plantation made, and the result, the increase of the increased yield and the decreased cost. And it's back to this kind of thing. And therefore, we will actually, one of my hobby is reading, and even though I major in architecture right now, I read a lot of white paper in agriculture. So yeah, and I have some discussion with some expert and etc. etc. And it's really interesting. And for myself, I believe that regarding the science in Indonesia, we have a lot of really, really smart and talented scientists. But unfortunately, those white paper, they just sit at the library and they are not contributing to give solution. And these are the things that I wanted to help them, to introduce them to the world. They have this kind of solution, and they can bring something they can bring some cost-effective solution that can help to increase the livelihood of the farmers and the plantation. Thank you. Hopefully that answers.
Thank you, Anthony. I mean, I understand this is certainly not an easy task for you. Now, I mean, just one quick comment on that, Heidi, if you allow me. I mean, the problem is, I think, is the fertilizer itself, because the Indonesian government is pushing for more and more production of fertilizers, which are basically chemicals. And chemical fertilizers are known to actually also consume a lot of water. Now, if you want to switch that to, instead of using chemical, then you use biological fertilizers like manure, certainly the water consumption will decrease. But again, I mean, this is like if there is any political will, because on the other hand, the industry needs to produce the fertilizers, the chemicals, and they need to, have all these fertilizers being consumed in a huge amount by the farmers. And the more they consume, the better it is going to be for the industry. But the thing is, they will also consume more water. Yeah. So, I mean, I think this is also a big challenge that you will have to consider, because then you are probably going against the current. Yeah, because when you educate those farmers, it's easy. It's easy to say, quit using chemical fertilizers, just use biological fertilizers, then you will consume less water. But the problem is that it's not the interest of perhaps of the big corporations that produce fertilizers. Anyway, back to you, Patty.
Okay, thank you, Pak Ivan, for your question. And now, Pak Andreas.
Hi.
Time to you to ask.
Okay. Hi, Anthony. I guess I'll ask one easy question, make one observation, and one hard question. Okay. The easy question first. Why are you doing this, Anthony? Why do you want to be an entrepreneur, and why agriculture?
Yeah, actually,
you're an architect. Why?
Yeah, actually, first of all, I've been working on this field for like 5 years from now, and I've met with a lot of people, and I can see that there's demand. Agriculture is really important to our life, and since I'm doing this, so why not doing this like on a, I know how to, from my interaction with the scientists, with the plantation and everything, I believe that I can do some. I believe that I'll be able to bring change to the how people doing their works in the plantation itself. But and I really love to enjoy. I really enjoy working, collaborating together with the scientists. And as I mentioned before, I read a lot of white papers, and doing so, I see that why don't the people implement this and that and this and that, because it will help them to increase this and that, this and that, and this and that. Unfortunately, it's not being implemented. And from my interaction with my from my colleagues from overseas, yeah, I'm sorry to say, but in some terms, they are not really smarter than us. In some terms, yes, but in some areas, we are smarter than them. And I believe that we can bring Indonesia have a lot of scientists, solution, and then we can bring this solution to Vietnam, to Malaysia, to I don't know, to some other countries. And yeah, it's really excites me to develop new things that help people to solve this kind of problem. So yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Now the hard question: how can you make your economics work? How can you be profitable? I mean, your business model is quite heavy with resources, people approaching, education, maintaining, and so on.
Okay. First of all,
and
I
plus
will
the
be,
working capital, right? Because you're also kind of renting the
yes.
equipment. Then okay.
So right
How
now
can
we
you
are,
make your economics work?
okay. First of all, we are doing a bootstrapping. So we are trying to decrease our costs really, really, really low. And actually, I didn't get any. I didn't take any money from this endeavor. And some of my friends, they only take yeah, just for them to be able to live life. That's it. And secondly, uh, how we how are we going to be able to make profit? First of all, this is uh, we sell them the instruments. We will get some profit from that. And secondly, we will get a subscription. We are using a subscription business model. So we will get the profit within the next year and the next year and the next year. And based from my experience in the calibration industry, this is the best business model. Because when you sell one time and you service the customer really, really good, they will become your customer for life. I have a customer that has been collaborating with me for decades because we served them really well in the past, and they introduce us to other customers, and it will lead to other customer, and within 10 years, our business it's really growing. So again, like I mentioned before, we are willing to cut. We are at the beginning, we are cutting the cost really low, but after we get some sales, and then we will start to increase our capital, and then by only then we will try to get like investors to invest in us on the term of in terms of scaling up the industry itself. So yeah.
Okay, fair enough. I guess on paper that's correct. Let's see how it goes in real life.
Thank you.
And one observation actually is taking the red thread from the first question until now. I think I don't know how deep you are in your customer discovery, problem discovery phase, but I do hope, I feel that there's, hopefully you're not trying to find a question to your answer, right? Fading a product into a non-existing problem.
Yeah.
Because I think precision agriculture and so on, probably those are non-existent in Indonesia. So hopefully I'm wrong, and hopefully you do your problem discovery, customer discovery correctly. If you don't mind, if you don't mind sharing the customer discovery process, how do you finally come into this irrigation? Because there are 1,000 problems in Indonesian agriculture. Why this?
Okay, thank you. That's the most difficult question, I think. So first of all, regarding the problem discovery, how do we enter this kind of endeavor, and what makes us into this kind of field is that, as I mentioned before, I've been selling like agriculture technology instrument for within 5 years period, and we only started this journey of startup at 2019. So during the like 2 or 3 years period at the beginning, I met with a lot of customers, and some of the customers are really keen on increasing their yield and decreasing their cost by using the in term of technology. And then this IoT things comes up, like they are using LoRa, NB-IoT, and those kind of things. And we have the solution, but unfortunately, it's really expensive. The cost is expensive. So when we offer this, we give this kind of solution. Okay, you want this kind of solution? Okay, that's fine. What's your need? What's your problem? Okay, you have this problem. I can make you some diagram of solution, and this is how much that you have to pay for this kind of solution. And the customer just say, it's really expensive. Sorry, we cannot afford it at this time. Okay, so after meeting these customers like several times, and I was like, it's really difficult to sell this agriculture technology because it's really expensive. And then afterwards, I met this one person, and after we do some discussion, he mentioned to me that, you want this kind of thing? I can build this one for you. I have built this kind of similar but really rough version of the product that you wanted. Okay, can you make a rough version? And then he make the rough version, and I see that, wow, this is really interesting. And that's like 2019. And we are hoping by 2020, we are hoping to have a meeting with a lot of farmers and plantation to propose our solution. But fortunately, COVID happened. So lots of plantation was locked down. We are not going to be able to meet with them. So yeah, we are hoping but fortunately within this year, there's like 2 projects that we are going on that we have a discussion with, and hopefully within this year we get at least 1 project, and we are hoping that within next year we are able to visit the customer and to test our instruments on the field. So yeah, that's the journey.
Okay, thank you. Back to you, Eddie.
Okay, thank you for all panelists. The question is easy, but the answer is hard. Okay, but I have to give to all audience first before I get back to you all panelists, because there is a lot of question here. First, I want to read from Facebook. Ibu Susi Sudarsono. The question is, most of agriculture in Indonesia depend on rainfall rather than modern irrigation system. With the climate change issue, how this system is going to work? Please answer, Pak Anthony, and make it quick.
Okay, thank you. So it's true that most of the plantation they rely on rainwaters, but right now there's some plantation they are starting to use irrigation. Not all, but some, and those are our main customers. We are hoping to be able to sell to those customers. So yeah.
Okay, that's a quick answer, and I hope it answered the question. So the second is Pak Hengki Halim from our platform Zoom. First question is, how big is your market, and how does your business will sustain within the next 5 years? That's the first question. And the second is, what is your strategy and what is your burning rate ratio? Okay.
So actually, we are not planning to. Right now, we are bootstrapping, so we minimize the cost, and we also got help from some seed investor already. So we are burning their money actually right now, and within 3 years or within 3 years, we are hoping to be able to sell like 50 to 100 solution, and hopefully by then we are able to at least cover our costs. So yeah, I guess that's it.
Okay, that's it. Okay, the third question is Christian So from YouTube. Question number one is how you manage the power supply and electricity for sensors, camera, and all equipment you use to monitoring the plantation and imagine if the plantation so big and no electricity, how you transmit all the data from plantation to your cloud. Most of the plantation is not in the area coverage by internet.
Okay. So first of all, we are going. Those are uh, the location that is on like that has no internet coverage. They are the big plantation. They usually the big plantation. Regarding the smaller size plantation, usually they are within reach. They are not far from town, and they have like 50 to 100 hectares. So their location is not really far. So they still have some internet coverage, even though it's a little bit small. That's number one. And secondly, regarding the electricity, right now we are relying on electricity, but we are developing our instruments so that it can use battery and solar panel. So right now we are testing our solution, but we have proven it can work with electricity.
Okay, for the last question from Mogami, and this is from the YouTube platform. The speaker and panelists, how far technology could help the worker, especially farmer, in context they face complex problem from high cost production to unfriendly or uncertain price when they sell their product from their land. This is for Pa Antonia, not for speaker, not for panelists. Okay.
Sorry, can you please rephrase the question, because I think that's I didn't quite get it at the
What
first.
technology could help the worker, especially farmer, in
Okay.
context that they face complex problem from high cost production to unfriendly or uncertain price when they sell their product from their land.
Okay. Regarding for the market itself, actually, I'm not going to into that, because there's a lot of startup are doing that, and probably, hopefully, they are able to solve those kind of problem. I wanted to answer regarding the high cost of productivity. One of the major costs for the product productivity is the fertilizer cost, and the second is uh, the human resources. So those are the two things that is the major uh, cost issue in the plantation. So we are hoping by doing the automatic irrigation, it will decrease their cost for fertilizer. So hopefully it will bring the high cost production little bit down, so that the farmers will get more profit from that. So yeah, that's.
Okay, I must get back to all the panelists because the Q&A session is will be finished at the moment. So for all the panelists, do you have more question? And if you have, make it quick. So anyone? Bu Maria, Prof. Ted, and Pak Andreas or Pak Ivan? Yes, Bu Maria.
Yeah. So actually, my question for Anthony is, what is actually that you need right now? Right? Do you need merchants? Do you need to better SLA to your operations, or do you need partners in securing? Like you said you're gonna sell consultation to the scientists, right? So I'm just wondering, what do you what is your priority need right now in 2021?
Okay. So first of all, what my priority need is to have a network. I'm hoping that I'll be able to get in touch with a lot of group farmers or group farmer association, so that I'll know what happens, whether my solution is the best for that issue, or whether there is a problem or not at the beginning. That's the first thing. And secondly, yeah, although we do have some contact in the agriculture, I think it will really benefit us if we can get like contact from universities from Indonesia, from Malaysia, or from other countries that can collaborate together and will help us to increase our insight and knowledge regarding the issue in agriculture. So I guess, and also again, probably within 1 or 2 years from now, probably a network of investors that can help us to scaling up the business. I guess that's it.
Okay. I'm just interested in when you say you want to work firstly for your success story to medium farmers, right? Because I think first of all, from Pak Ivan's standpoint, the education will be harder, right? Second, they are probably don't have the funds to fully pay your services. So I don't know. In my opinion, it's better to have like one big partner, so you can so the bigger partner, like you said, the conglomerate stuff, right? So they're probably more focused on how they can produce bigger, larger quantity, and pushing down their costs. So it's just my opinion, right? Because the strategy of acquiring will differ from startup founders to founders. So yeah. So I mean, keep in touch. I'll be glad to assist you. I know some of my network have apa perkebunan pisang di banana. So it's and he's one of the conglomerates. So he has banana plantation. He has other businesses other than that. So let me explore if he is interested.
Banana and pineapple, they usually go along together. Banana and pineapple.
Yeah.
When you have a plantation, banana plantation, they usually have a pineapple plantation also. So.
Okay.
Yeah. So no, I think it's part of his business.
I wish we have more times.
Can I have 1 minute, please?
3 hours, yeah. Yeah, Pak Teddy, you are the last.
Yeah, all right. Pak Antonio, this is only my comment because in the agenda they mentioned about the what you call it, the final, something like a final word for 1 minute, all right? So number one, the keyword from me is about the best practice, all right? So once I lucky, I managed to come and see a kibbutz. Yeah? Kibbutz is the community service in Israel, basically, as you know. You know what happened is there's only 2 or 3 family, and they use the agriculture precision, and they handle more than 600 hectares of the avocado, and in the desert. All right, so all the technology was quite mature, and they invest for a quite long term, and everybody was concentrated on it. So I'm thinking at the times, if we can make it like the best practice like that, and we adopt the kind of technology through your startup, for example, and bring it to Indonesia, because we have more, actually without any fertilization, if you have a very good seed, for example, then they're going to have like a lot of fruit. They come in from the kind of plant, actually. That's number one. Number two, there's a challenge actually in Indonesia. We are in the rain country actually, and there's a lot of area that they have the potential to have the rainstorm, as you know. So why I'm talking, why I mentioned about the rainstorm? Because when you're talking about IoT, and if we choose the wrong technology during the rain times, the rainstorm time, and then what happens is the data communication doesn't work like what we expect. All right. So one example, if you're using, for example, like Wi-Fi, for example, or even Bluetooth, you can transfer until 100 kilometers, for example. But during rain storm, they only transfer 6 meters only, by the way. And that one happening in the open space. I tested already. Okay, so now we need to find, for example, some other technology which is quite low cost also. Then you can transfer until 500 meters, for example. That also should work during the rainstorm. So then this kind of thing that's not easy, of course. So for this, I want to put only one simple word here, saying that small things, yeah, make up the sorry, I'm near the iPod. Small thing make up the perfection, but perfection is not a small thing. All right, and then the last thing is your angle is quite good actually from my perspective, because in 2045, in the years of 2045, where Indonesia, we are in the 100 years of Indonesia, independent of Indonesia, we're going to have like 318 million people. They need a food, of course. So food security is very, very important. So I think you are in the good angle to grow this idea, with, of course, with the a good idea, strong idea, and also with the good collaboration with all the small thing until the big thing to the level of the conglomerate. So with that, thank you for idea and Pak Anthony. So all the best to everyone. So thank you for that. Thank you.
Thank you, Prof.
Okay, thank you, Prof.
Yeah.
That's the finish of our session Q&A. So sorry, all panelists, because our schedule is tight, and I hope we have more time to 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 do the startup huddle. Okay, I want to thank everyone who has participated on today's event. Now, for that, I will close this Q&A session. Again, thank you for your all community member to participate in Q&A session, and I hope we all learned something in this Startup Huddle Jakarta event. Now, before we end this event, I want to ask to Pak Anthony, what can we as a community do to help you, Pak?
Yeah, if you have some, yeah, I'm hoping to get some contact with some expert in agriculture and regarding the farmers to discuss about what is their issue and how can our technology help them to increase their livelihood. So I'm hoping that whether Startup Huddle will be able to get me in touch with those kind of people. So I think it will be a great help for me and for my startup. Thank you, Pak Edi.
Okay, thank you for explanation, Pak Antoni. I hope that the community can help you. And for all panelists, we want to give you a chance to closing remarks, each one. Everyone is only 1 minute. Maybe I will give a chance to Prof. Teddy first.
I give you my closing remark already, by the way. So my last sentence is basically I think I mentioned already previously, but I don't need to
Okay.
give.
Okay, thank you. And for the second one is Bu Maria.
Yeah, I also thought I already gave my closing remark. But yeah, but good presentation, Anthony. All the best. I guess I give my time to Pak Andreas and Pak Ivan.
Thank you,
Okay.
Maria.
Pak Andreas.
Okay. Maybe short one. I guess for Anthony and all startup founders entrepreneurship is very hard, right? Being an entrepreneur is very hard. That's why the why you do this, that one needs to be very, very solid, and that one is the only guiding light that will help you along the journey. I guess congrats to Anthony. So hopefully it's going to be a wonderful journey ahead. Yeah, I guess you're really solving a big problem, but it's not going to be easy.
Thank you,
Okay.
Pak.
And Pak Ivan?
Okay. Thank you, Anthony. I mean, this is certainly much better presentation than the first one we had, but I believe this is going to be a challenging journey for you. But this is not certainly something impossible. As long as you are passionate about this, I'm sure you can do it. Now, I would concur to what Maria just said. You need to build your success stories. Otherwise, it's going to be frustrating for you doing a lot of work for nothing. One way to do it is, as you also have mentioned already, that you need to find your own network, your uh, maybe working partners. The best would be something like maybe the university, because usually they do a lot of advisory work for farmers. Yeah, Brawijaya, for example, in Malang, they do a lot of work with the farmers. Not always EPB, yeah, but other universities as well. And if you can work with them and partner with them and trying to share your entire notion of increasing productivity through uh, optimal irrigation system. And if the university buys your idea and your solution, and that they're willing to actually also try it out for you with the farmers, I'm sure you can build your success stories much easier. And after that, I mean, the whole journey will be much uh, simpler and much easier for you as well. So, and yeah, I'll be more than happy to help connect you with universities if you like to. Uh, 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 but it has to be maybe 2 or 3 times of communication that we need to foster first because I don't really exactly know who's in charge for the agriculture projects over there. I'm sure, I mean, if we keep on asking and keep on banging the door, I mean, there will be someone who will actually open it and, perhaps even willing to help you. Thank you.
Thank you, Pak Ivan.
Okay, thank you so much, everyone. And thank you so much, Prof. Teddy, Bu Maria, Pak Andreas, Pak Ivan, and Pak Antoni, and all the community members to participate in this event. So, I will give a quick announcement for the final announcements. We would like to announce that we invite all audience here, so you can share with your friends or colleagues, so that those who want to uh, present as a presenter at the Startup Huddle Jakarta, you can contact us, and we are very happy to help you become part of the Startup Huddle Jakarta presenter. And then don't forget to come back for the next Startup Huddle event with at America collaboration with Jen also for next month at Friday night, 30 July in second Startup Huddle Jakarta. Okay, we hope you can join us, and of course this is open for public, and we will inform in our social media who will be as presenter and panelist community for the next event. On that, we will wrap up Startup Huddle Jakarta for tonight. Thanks again for coming, and we hope to see you here again for our next Startup Huddle event. And back to you, Jasmine. Thank you. Hello, Jasmine.
Yes, Spidey, thank you so much
Yes.
for being our moderator for this evening and also our wonderful panelists, Pak Anthony, Pak Teddy, Pak Andreas, Pak Ivan, dan Bu Maria for joining us this evening. I hope to see you all at the next session. So earlier in the event, I asked you guys a social media question, and the question was, is it true or false that vertical farms use up to 70% less water than traditional farms? So is that fact true or false? That fact is actually true. The reduced water and energy usage on vertical farms optimizes water usage. And our winner for this evening is from YouTube, so shout out to Maya Trainer for answering correctly. For those of you who would like to participate in our social media quiz next time, you can tune in from the very beginning of the event because that's when we'll be sharing our question. And also earlier in the event, I told you that America is having a giveaway as part of our 10th anniversary celebration and also celebrating diversity between the US and Indonesia. We're inviting you guys to participate so you guys don't miss out on a chance to receive an iPad Pro. And how can you guys do that? You guys can go to the link below at atam.tv/mask2unmask for further information. Now, how can you develop an awesome idea at an awesome place like America? It's really easy. You can just go to our website at www.adamerica.org.id, select Create a Program, and go to Collaborate with us. All proposals coming to us will be reviewed, and your event might be featured here soon. And while you're on our website, don't forget to subscribe to our newsletter so you guys get updates sent straight to your inbox. We won't spam you, we promise, just once a week. And also don't forget to follow us on our social media for fun content, event updates, and many more. Hope you have a good evening and see you at the next America TV event. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Thank you, everybody.
Okay, bye.
Thank you.